have witnessed poltergeist activity.
In the room next to my office, I can hear things being moved about. Very often when we go in, it's obvious things have been moved about or thrown about. The room is only a storeroom, not generally used. It's quite a dilapidated room, very dusty and dirty. There's nobody working in there, and I would know anyway. There are only the two offices upstairs.
You know when we talk about the doors?
Yeah.
There's definitely, because we replaced... Do you hear it then?
Anybody there?
That was quite strong, that sound.
I didn't even hear that.
Yeah. Did you not hear it?
No, I just said, Phil, scaring me to death.
Sorry, mate.
What?
There's footsteps or something.
Yeah, it was
Come
quite
there.
strong. I heard that, yeah.
Did anybody else hear that?
I heard it.
Yeah.
This actually is so heavy with poltergeist activity.
See, now what I'm getting now mentally is a man who is, okay, I don't know if he's active or whether it's just a residual at the moment, and he's got this covering, and it goes very low here, and he seems to be a man that when he walked round, he'd always have his head down like this, and he most definitely clatters things here.
Who is he?
Who is he, please? Who is he? His first name is Edmund. Is it Edmund? That's what Sam's given me, Edmund.
Yeah.
Edmund. He used to have, thank you, Sam, he used to have a very, very strong hold or connection with this property. He was the one that took, oh God. Okay, there was two men. And I feel Edmund was the one in that with the swords and swept his head off, decapitated this other.
Where did this happen?
Not here,
Not in this room?
no.
Where?
In the lower regions. In the lower regions.
Should we go down to the lower levels then?
Yeah.
With so many layers of history and so many people that would have visited this extraordinary building, we were all hopeful that some kind of paranormal activity would occur at the Guildhall in Leicester. The library seemed to be a place that intrigued Eric. This was a beautiful room in daylight, but somehow it felt sinister in the dark.
Yeah, so, like, just as we've entered here again into this room, that replay comes back to me, even from the residual energy. And it seems to be, we're up this area here, and it's like as if this, like, there's two men. The two men are in earnesty of wanting to hurt the other. And to me, it's just like, you know, I'm getting the conditions of the two swords, I'm getting the fighting, the anger, and suddenly one of these two loses his concentration and the other then just catches him and the head is just taken off clear.
Why? Do we know why they were fighting?
I feel one wanted to be in the position the other one was in. In other words, taking over the... It was a power thing, taking over the other person's position.
Okay.
And they clashed, both realising and knowing why this was to take place. And it seems out of the two, which seems unfair to me, psychically, is the one who was decapitated was the fair and just person of the two.
So do we know who that person was? Because we've got Edmund, who's the person
Yes.
who did it.
Yes. Can you give me that, please? John. John. Come on, a bit more. You know, what the feeling I get now is that in this duel and the clash between these two men, I know it was a power struggle thing for gaining position of one of the other, but I'm also getting this unique, unbelievable... Do you trust my senses with this, Sam? Because it appears, Phil, that these two men could have been related.
Right.
They could have been related bloodline. You know, I'm also getting, where I got the name John before, I get John Francis, or John Francis, but there's something else to go with that name.
That's the
John
person that was
Francis.
killed. Something.
I feel, and there's another name. If people were to walk into this atmosphere, the fear in this atmosphere here would probably make a person bolt out the room.
Really?
Yeah.
Right.
You know, where they were in action, you know, trying to kill each other. However, they may also experience, just through the normal senses, audible noises.
Okay.
You know, clashes of steel.
Yeah, really?
Oh, yeah. Because it's in this atmosphere.
You say one was older than the other one?
Yes.
Which one was the younger of the two?
Gosh. The older, thanks Sam, the older man in this fight, this duel, was the person that was in the higher position, trying to be dislodged by the younger man. You know, I wouldn't be at all surprised whether this was like uncle and nephew.
Right.
I really do know it's bloodline.
No chance that Sam could try and get us a surname for this, is there?
I'm going to ask him right the way through this investigation. I'll keep, you know, having a go and see what he... And it may just come through,
Okay.
you know,
All right. Well,
that
let's...
way.
Do you want to move on?
Yeah. Okay.
It was time for the crew to split into groups so we could investigate the property thoroughly. Various crew members concentrated on the main areas in the house, whilst I decided to take my group, Kath, John, Tom and David Wells, down into the cells.
How does everybody feel in here? I mean, I feel fine. I mean, I wouldn't want to be in here on my own.
I feel claustrophobic. I do feel claustrophobic, and I know when we walked in here, I know it's quite cramped. I also have a preconception that people were kept in here and up to 17 people, which makes me
17 people?
Yeah, apparently there's a sign outside saying up to 17, and I think it was in the other cell, but the other cells, it's about the same size. It's definitely not any bigger. And so for me to walk in here and imagine that this was the actual cell where up to 17 drunks or whatever would be held.
You'd have to stand up though if it was 17.
It's not as bad as the other one, but it is still, it makes me feel heavy, makes me feel, you know, really pushed down on. The energy's pushing in.
There's the smell changed in here. Does it smell different to you from when we first came in, or is it just me?
It smells a heck of a lot different to the other cell, doesn't it?
Yeah, it does.
The other cell definitely smells... Well,
Considering this has got a vent as well,
toilet-like.
Yeah.
maybe that's the reason you've got ventilation.
God, there's a real mix in here. I can feel ropes around my neck. I can feel pushing. I can feel vile taste in my mouth. Just everything.
I had a funny taste in my mouth.
Did you?
Yeah.
It might have been the same spirit impressing it.
Just claustrophobic, isn't it? I'm actually getting a bit...
But airless.
Yeah.
I have to say this as well. There's someone, and I don't know who it is, but they're saying to me, imagine what this felt like when people were being sick, when they were urinating.
Oh, God.
I mean, it sort of sounds through that door, but I presume it's coming from upstairs.
Yeah, I can hear the sound. Sounds like the door banging too, doesn't it?
It just sounds like there's something wrong.
Should we go out? Shall we? Oh, God, sorry. Flipping it. I didn't realise you'd touched the thing. God, I'm so jumpy.
Oh, yeah, what's the smell? It really is like...
Is that horse manure?
It's like toilet smell.
I don't know, a funny headache.
But these would have stunk because they would have been just locked in and left. They would have vomited, they would have peed themselves, you know, and worse.
Do you feel like going in here?
Yeah, I'm fine. There's still this awful feeling of someone, and can I just show you what I'm saying? It's someone really, I mean, I can't do it because I can't, but it's someone like almost with their hands here
And
their
somebody
legs.
pushing
The
you.
legs are up as well. Both the legs are up and they're being
Like
pushed.
that.
Yeah,
God.
pushed in.
Oh, God.
This seems to me like it's there wouldn't have been so many people in here. This feels like me, like this is like the real hard cases. One thing that really saddens me is there are innocents, you know, there are innocents who were hung, locked up, families torn apart. It's really quite distressing.